Last year I uploaded a video where I made a hot sauce called the weapons grade hot sauce. That was a seriously hot sauce. I actually have some over here. Today's video, we're going to be making something that I think is even hotter than this. When I made the weapons grade hot sauce, I was going for a sauce that was obviously ridiculously hot, but I was also going for a sauce that had a good mix of flavors. So I added in some peppers that were well below the 1 million Scoville range, and I don't consider those super hots, but I believe they added a good bit of flavor to this. I still think this is a really tasty sauce. Today, it's all about the heat. That's all it is. The chilies we're using today are the Fatalii Gourmet Jigsaw, and they are some stupidly hot peppers, fresh out of my garden. I've been growing them all year, and I'm looking forward to this sauce. So let's get started, get the sauce on the go. The process we're going to be using today is vacuum sealed fermentation. So this is my vacuum sealer. I will leave a link down below for this, but this one works out quite well, and I'm pretty happy with the purchase so far. But the reason I'm going to be using a vacuum sealed fermentation is, I'm kind of running out of jars at this point, but it also works out really well for these smaller batches. This here is about 270 grams, and that is ideal for what we're going to be doing. Wow, you can smell the heat. There we go, we're gonna put that inside the bag, but before we do, we need to mix in the salt. One of the benefits of a vacuum sealed fermentation is the fact that you can use a minimal amount of salt. So this is only 2%. Normally I go 2.5 to 3% if I'm doing my typical method of fermentation, but with this you only need 2%. You probably could get away with a little bit less, but I'll stick with 2%. These peppers smell actually quite fruity. I think that's probably the habanero that's mixed in here. I'm guessing there's habanero that's been crossed here. But you can definitely smell the heat. So I'm just gonna mix in the salt before we stick it inside the bag. Beautiful vacuum sealed peppers ready to ferment. So as with any fermentation, the key thing here is make sure that you have the right temperature. We're going to stick this inside my fermentator, which is obviously a temperature controlled fridge and allows me to maintain whatever temperature I need. I'll be doing this at 19 degrees Celsius, which I tend to do for my longer fermentations. If I was doing a shorter one, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then I might go to 20 or 21, but 19 is perfect for my needs. It's been about 6 weeks since we started fermenting these, and you can see how blown up the bag is. This has been fermenting just right. We can see inside there, I don't know if you can make that out, but those peppers are looking really good. Oh, jeez. That's an experience. That's quite overwhelming. Oh man, I can't. Wow. If we look inside there, those look amazing. The smell is actually, it's good when you get past the heat. I really do like this vacuum seal method. It's just a perfect fermentation every time. There are a few downsides to it, and I'll probably talk about it in a future video. But the biggest one for me is it's the waste of plastic. Every time you do a fermentation, you're throwing away the plastic bags. guess there must be a way you can reuse them if you wash them, but then I guess that sort of defeats the point of these. Wow, that's a such a beautiful smell, the actual fermentation. Smells very fruity and yeah, obviously hot, but lovely and fruity. I'm going to let this settle just for a second, because if I open it now, it's just going to make me cough again. Let's give it a test before we add the vinegar. Let's see. I did calibrate this morning, so it should be good. It looks like 4.0 pH. So that's very good, and when we put in the vinegar it's going to bring it down even more, but 4.0, I'm happy with that. I need to give this a clean before it stains it. The reason I'm adding more vinegar is because this is going to be very, very thick, and you won't actually be able to get this out the bottle. But believe me, it's still going to be ridiculously hot. So there we have it, 7 3/4 bottles full of pure venom. This stuff is just, it's making my eyes water. It's making it hard to breathe, but I'm actually looking forward to trying it out, stupidly. And we'll do that in just a second, but let me just explain what I'm going to do with these. Firstly, one of these full bottles I'm keeping for myself. These 6 here are up for sale, and I have to think of a way to do this in the fairest way possible. Sometimes I get in the comments that you guys think I'm not really trying these sauces. I promise you, I am. And just to make sure that you can see I am, this is that bottle, the 3/4 full one. And I will, let me try and get it up on camera there. I'm not going to do a lot, but, oh geez. So, can you see that? Oh. Bottoms up. Wow, really sweet up front. Oh. Wow, the heat is a, oh, it's like a mule kicking you. Wow, that is hot. It's actually, it's manageable. Oh, straight to my stomach. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I'm doing this on an empty stomach. Now it's going in my nose. It's difficult to describe. The flavors are good. I'm gonna sneeze. It is hot. It is really, really hot. Oh boy. Oh. Yeah, that's hot. That is really hot. Obviously, I have diluted that down a little bit with vinegar, but that's the only way it's going to actually come out the bottle, because otherwise it would have just been a paste and you'd never get it out. I think the vinegar helps it out a little bit. I have tried the Gourmet Jigsaw by itself. Well, that's a decent pepper, but it is really, really hot, and bringing the heat down with some vinegar is probably a good idea. It actually adds a little bit of sweetness to it, so it's a nice vinegar to use. Thank you so much for watching, and it's still building. Thank you so much for watching, and stay spicy.